a customer education problem because when I say video, they think, oh, you can film our television commercial, full scale video production, which I'm nowhere interested or able, or it's not my bailiwick, right? But
Right.
I think shooting B roll clips along with the stills I shoot is a natural fit.
Yes.
Any suggestions in client education? Because if I say video, they presume comprehensive video production, and what I'm talking about is the use of motion graphics and
Then
and
I would probably use the term motion graphics.
okay.
Yeah, I would probably use the term motion graphics. If you are working with a hotel and they say to you, hey, we need a video, best thing for you to do is to go cool and call up that video guy that you were smart enough a couple months ago to contact, so you know how much he charges, and you are the director and they do the video work.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing the DP, part, but for me, it's always been, audio.
Yeah,
Make,
that's the
that
biggest
makes it
thing.
so.
So what you
It,
would say to them is it's motion clips. We don't do audio. We only do voiceover or music.
okay.
Because
So
once you add live audio, that's a video. And that's now you've got to have a sound man.
and a sound editor and a sound, yeah, it goes on and on and on.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So then for each area of photography you do, so you do like separate channels for each area, like product would be one, real estate would be
Yes.
channels. Okay.
Well, real estate is really a sub channel of architecture. I don't know if you could find too many. I mean, real estate there's nothing else beyond real estate. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's the final thing. But architecture, that's a substrata of architecture. So you'd have real estate, interiors, what's it called? Interior design, furniture, mm-hmm. Tchotchke, whatever the stuff, that would be under architecture. Real estate would be one of those.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything under real estate that I can think of.
Okay.
Who else? There's got to be some more questions.
So, I have a old archive of photography, and some pretty well-known people are in it, mostly from photojournalism. And I know that they, like I spent a day with the Dalai Lama in India. I mean, but it was in 2000. But those images, and who's in them, I think is part of my credibility. But I don't, not the work I'm going after, but how do I leverage? And I mean, I got, everyone that ran for president that came through New Hampshire for a primary in the last 25 years, I've got photo sets
of. You have posed photos, or you're standing in the crowd?
Mostly photojournalistic, some, a little bit of photos, mostly, live action, from different events and stuff. Not grip and grins, but like headshots of.
And I would create under projects, and I would call it, what would you call it?
I don't know. I'm talking
hopefuls.
Yeah, because right? I got everyone. It's amazing. I kind of started putting them in a folder. I'm like, oh, this is quite a lineup.
Yeah, you could put it in presidential hopefuls under projects.
Okay, and just put it in the project. Okay,
absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to kind of show my depth, but not lead with that, I guess is the.
And then if you did if you had a blog post of any of the candidates, I would urge you, I don't know if you're left or right, but I would urge you to leave that at home.
Oh, I don't care. I shoot all kinds.
Yeah, and just put up, this is the guy and he came through and I photographed him here and there. Just do that. Too many people are throwing their politics and stuff and they're losing work.
No, I don't have an opinion. I have an opinion. I like getting money for photography.
There you go. Leave the politics at home. Too many people throwing it out there and wow. So these days you can't have a civil discussion anymore. It's like you're the enemy, you have to die kind of thing. So leave it off. Yeah, good. That's great. That's great. You could even put, one of those on your main page of your portfolio. If it's a really great shot of somebody that's, that we all know, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Make sure it's somebody who lost, because if it's somebody who won, they're going to get the others. Half the
everybody loses. You see the clown card running around the Hampton. Right now.
I'll tell you who loses the most: the American people. But that doesn't matter who wins. So it's like we lose. But yeah,
okay, good. I'm going to do that because I wanted to wanted a rational way to leverage that, but not harm where I'm going. So, okay.
Yeah, projects. Then do a little book, do a PDF. You don't have to print it. Do a little PDF. Call it, presidential hopefuls or American hopefuls or whatever you want to do it. And you got just shot after shot. Name of the candidate. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe even the name.
Everyone from George McGovern to John McCabe. So.
There you go. That's right. Cool, man. That's cool. I wonder how many other photographers even have that, unless they're like a press pool or something. That's great.
All right.
Yeah, I think we don't, as a group, take advantage of the project approach quite often enough. I'm starting to do that myself. And I think it's a great way to show diversity. If you have what you want to do is, the 3 or 4 portfolio groups that what you want to do, and then the rest is projects. And then, people who are looking to see what you're capable of go to projects. They look at what you have, but everybody's going to be curious. At least look at one project if they've been there long enough to, if they're spending more than a 30 seconds on your site, then they're going to poke at least one project. I mean, I know I do that, but even non-photographers, I know that's just what they do. So if we have a list of projects, then it's a question of how do you order them so that the people go to the ones you're most excited about, or how do you thin them out, periodically as you add a project, take one out or whatever. But I think they're great ways to show what you're able to do. And that I would love to have that.
I think leveraging them as blog fodder, because I always think blog, I got to write a 1,500 word article.
Oh, no.
And I don't show off what I do. And it's like, I put this big creative, like, I got to pick up the topic for my blog this week and write it carefully and And that's, I should put 4 photos and say, here's something.
Yeah, right. You don't have to. Yeah, I think a lot of photographers have that misconception that when they think of a blog, they think of a political blog or a food blog or a critic or somebody who writes 2,500 words 5 times a week. No, you just put up a photograph and a little paragraph of where it was. The reason blogs work are SEO. The more your website changes, the more Google visits it.
Right, and that's really my incentive. Right?
Yes, that's why so many photographers started losing traction in their websites when they gave up their blogs and said, "Oh, I don't need a blog anymore. I've got Facebook. Facebook will now be my blog." Well, that was really stupid because Facebook wasn't your blog. Facebook was Facebook's blog. You were just part of it. And Facebook doesn't show your blog to anybody who's not another Facebook user. And now it's so busy that they only show 10% of what you blogged to 10% of what the people are that you want to get to. So you're losing out. Every photographer should have a blog. You should have a blog for SEO reasons. Here's how it works. Google comes to your website. It goes to dondobkinphoto.com and it looks at it in a split second, looks at it. Then it comes back a month later and it looks at it. If it's the same as it was the previous month, Google says, oh, not much happening here. I can come back in 2 months. So now it's 2 months before Google comes back, crawls the site. Nothing changed. You're done. Google's like, oh, yes, this site's dead. What's the point? Move on. Not going to keep wasting energy on a dead site. However, they come to your site and you've got a colon where there was a semicolon, your page changed. Boom, they come back next month. Say the point? It's that simple. You keep information up on there and using a good SEO program like all-in-one SEO, it's my favorite. There's Yoast as well, and they both have free versions. But you follow the instructions on there, and then you're starting to feed Google information, and Google would come back again and again. CNN has a front page. You know how often Google visits their site? Every 3 minutes, because it changes so much. So Google looks and says, well, this page has changed 70% since I was here 3 minutes ago. I'm going to come back in 3 more minutes. And I'm going to do it till it almost gets down to like real time. The reverse is we don't change our website. So even if you had nothing to write, go in and change the order of your pictures, because remember, it's binary. It's changed or it's not. That's it. It's binary. Move this picture over here, move this picture over here. Boom, you changed it. Great. Crawl it again next month. If there's substantial changes, like a blog post a week, they'll come back in 2 weeks. And if there's a blog post every week after 2 weeks, you could get down to the point where they're visiting your site about every 12, 15 days. You know, if you were blogging every day, you could probably get it down to once every 2 days they would visit your site. That's the way it works. We may not like it, but that's the way it works. That's why SEO is important, and that's why blogs are important for what it is that you are doing, for your photography, for your everything.
Does it matter what kind of website you have or host you have for your portfolio?
It does. There's certain, Adobe has a website, right, that comes with Photoshop. Have anybody taken advantage of it?
No.
Yes, I do have.
Good.
I haven't really updated regularly, but it's actually on my to-do list.
This is a free website, and every time I talk to people, you're probably the first, Dan, who said they used it. Okay. Every time I talk to people, nobody's used it, and I kind of laugh because I go, "This is golden." So you've got, let's say, Dan's Plain Photography. Okay, let's say you've got that on WordPress or Squarespace or whatever, right? You've got a free website at Adobe, free. The title of this is Best Industrial Photographer in Connecticut.com. Someone types in, I'm looking for the best commercial photographer, industrial photographer in Connecticut. Guess who comes up first without spending a nickel?
Right.
You do, because your URL is exactly what they were looking for. You're at the top. No one can beat that. And it's free. You just have to stick a bunch of pictures in it and a link over to this website. There's a place called Wix. Wix has free websites. Wix is a very popular website hosting place. It has free websites. The free websites come with a little Wix logo on it, but it's free. And you put over here, you put 24 photographs of trucks, right? And you go, best corporate trucking photographer, eastcoast.com. You're never going to give that URL out to anybody. It's too long. It comes in here, they got pictures of trucks, and that goes right over to here. Your blog on here is linked to your blog. Wherever your blog is, it's here. Blog is linked to the blog with a hard link. Google says, oh, things have changed. Or you can go in here and change this every once in a while. Have you ever gone to a website and they have quotes on the website, little, quotes from famous authors or something?
Right.
You know why they do that, right? It changes the page every day. That's a
I didn't
JavaScript.
until now.
That's a JavaScript. They've already set those up. They've got 40 of them in a database, and this JavaScript just feeds a different one every day. It changes the
So
page.
are you saying that daily changes make a big difference compared to twice a week or a week?
Yes.
Or...
The more you change, the more you get. That's the part of it. So SEO isn't one thing. It's like a pie, This is how much it changes. This might be keywords. This might be meta over here. This might be paid or backlinks here, et cetera, et cetera. Backlinks are important. Getting people to link to you is really important. Really important, because that is a super tool for SEO. So
when I publish my blog article, it's going up on my Substack, and that link that I show in my Substack that comes back to my domain, that's what you're talking about, backlinks like that.
That's a backlink, yes. But it's also going to be a backlink that Google's going to know that it's coming from probably something proprietary, because that Substack's always linked to your website. So remember in high school the table where all the cool kids sat?
I was far away from it. Yes.
Remember
Oh yeah,
I
was in the middle of that. I made that table. I created it.
So here comes little Johnny. Johnny's over here. Johnny's not a cool kid. When Johnny does something, he's got 3 buddies. They all wear thick glasses and they all hang out in his basement playing video games. This is Johnny's sphere of influence, right? That's your website when no one's backlinking to you. You're Johnny. So then over here, one day, Brad or Buffy or whatever decides you're a cool guy. No one knows why. He just decides one day, hey, Johnny, come sit with us. So Johnny comes and sits at the cool table. His sphere of influence is now this big, because he's a cool guy, because this cool guy said he was a cool guy. That's it. That's all it takes, right? So this is like, you have no backlinks. He has lots of backlinks because he's a cool guy. It's a cool site. The more backlinks you have, the higher you come up in Google. Backlinks are the #1 thing that Google looks for, because it's the only thing you can't plant. It's the only thing you can't fake are backlinks. Cool, huh?
Yes, sir.
Learned a little bit about SEO. It is important. It is important.
You said that one SEO application you use that you consider the best is
All-in-one.
All-in-One.
All-in-one. Yeah. So here's the problem. Someone asked about what website you're on. If you're on WordPress, you have the most opportunity for SEO. You've got every meta tag, you've got embeds, you can change, you can actually serve the maybe your headline says cool stuff for November, has no search engine optimization at all. Nobody cares cool stuff for November. None of those words mean anything. But you can serve to the search engine. You can serve a second headline. The search engine says cool electronics and gifts under $40, blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? So the search engine's seeing this really cool name, but your website just says cool stuff for November. So you've got all of that ability in WordPress.
In H1, H2 tags. You're talking, yeah.
Yeah. In Squarespace, you have about 1/4 of this power. Because Squarespace doesn't let you load up things like all-in-one SEO or change the URL that goes out to specific clients. It doesn't give you that ability. Adobe gives you almost no ability to do it. You can do whatever you can with your image. So here's the problem with photography websites, most of them, especially sites that are real fancy created sites that you don't have access to. You can't change anything. You can't, do all that stuff. You don't have all of this, and you're competing against everyone who does. All you can do is name your files. So in Wix, the only thing you have is the on-page words. Those are the texts on the page and the name of the file. So if you name the file IMG_2077 final edit no I mean it final edit .jpeg,
You doom.
Google doesn't even look at it. We don't know what that is. If you title your image industrial bridge industrial photography by Dan Splain, Connecticut, don't comma, I'm sorry, Connecticut. Google sees that. So it looks for a bridge in Connecticut, Connecticut.
And it's a dash between, now say I put Dan
dashes or underscores.
But underscore linked words together, for example, plain photography would be underscored together. And
say it again?
Don't, in search terms, and if I'm wrong, please help me out. I understand if I put plain bridge, Connecticut, put a dash between, that means that Google's going to search those separate terms. But say I want to put commercial photography together. Do I put a underscore between those terms?
Yes.
Linked is a single
between every word you have a dash.
Right, but how do I link two words? So I want a search term commercial photography to show up in the meta tag, not just commercial and photography. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, you can't, because it's everything everything is searchable is Boolean.
So it's just a dash. Underscore doesn't.
No, but Google does take into account that you have commercial next to photography.
Okay.
If let's say you're doing meta tags, we've jumped into SEO here. Let's say we're doing meta tags, and we want to say, well, I'm a commercial photographer, right? Commercial photographer, photographer, comma, editorial photographer. You just use photographer twice. Nobody cares because you just screwed up your search engine. Now now search engine's going to stop there because you're repeating the words.
Okay.
All you have to do is have commercial, editorial, blah, 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 photography. One-time use of each word. No filler words. No greatest, no best, nothing like that. Just what it is and what you want there.
Okay.
When you say the meta, is that also true for the alt description?
No, the alt description doesn't have the dashes, and you can be very your alt description can be quite long. I think you can have up to, I want to say something up to like 1,000 characters in your alt description. You can get quite detailed with that.
Searchable too?
What's that, Robert?
Is that searchable? Is that searchable
Yes.
by Google?
Yes,
okay.
It's just not high rated. Okay.
Okay.
So and no one can tell us what the rating is. We just kind of know by doing it how high that rating is. So the highest thing you can have, the top, are backlinks. Okay, that's powerful because you can't cheat it. The second thing you can have is on page search engine optimization, which means the copy that is visible for your visitors is SEO optimized. The third thing you can have is behind the scenes optimization. That's your meta description, not your alt tag, but your meta description It's how you create your pages. It's your sitemap. It's all of the things that you have. You have to have a sitemap. If you don't have a sitemap, Google dings you. So Google doesn't punish anybody. It just doesn't award you. So everybody starts here. If you have a page that doesn't load fast, they just take that off. They just take, pictures are too big, they take that off, it's like that. So your 100 comes down, you end up with a 45 down here. So they're not looking at you and punishing you. They're just taking off points for the stuff that you're doing wrong. So you want to do everything right. The thing that I like about all-in-one SEO versus Yoast is really good, really powerful. We never have anything bad thing to say about it. But Yoast presupposes that you know SEO. All-in-one presupposes that you don't know anything about SEO. So it takes your page and it says, fill this out, fill this out, fill this out, do this here. Oh, you have a question about that? Hit here. It drops down and tells you why you do it. It presupposes that you know nothing. You just go through and do it. I know people that have all-in-one, all they do is install all-in-one SEOs, and they're making $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month maintaining websites using all-in-one SEO. Every month they open up all-in-one SEO and they go in and they look at the reporting, they look at the suggestions from all-in-one SEO, they make those changes and they bill their clients $300, $400, $500 a month. That's business.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? We have time. We have time for all kinds of questions, folks. I'll redo this.
Yeah,
I have to run across town and water the plants at my old house. As soon as I get back, I will redo this presentation, so it'll be up this evening as well as I put the Q&A up. So sorry about that.
So Don, if you're recommending doing WordPress, how do you?
I'm not.
Are there templates?
I'm not recommending it. I'm not
You're not.
recommending it. I'm just giving you the options that are there.
Okay. Are there? And I know you don't want to get into probably dissing services, but are there services that are better than others for photographers to consider?
I use Divi for my websites.
Okay.
Divi is a visual theme builder. And so I can build my pages visually rather than just with code. Okay. And it's made by Elegant Themes and it's really good. It's WordPress. And so it gives me the ability to put all the plugins and extensions and things that I think I need to use, and Google Analytics and all that. I am moving for my more creative work that I'm doing for clients. I'm moving to Webflow. Webflow presupposes that you know nothing about web design. It's literally drag and drop.
Is that a WordPress?
No, it's its own thing, Webflow. And so now they're making plugins for Webflow. They're making extensions for Webflow. Some people have themes that you can buy, designs you can buy for Webflow. I told this to the creative class. I told this to the mentorship class. I would recommend anybody in the visual arts if you know how to do websites, you can add thousands of dollars to your income, because so many clients you're going to meet don't have a website. And you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to learn to code. No, you don't want to learn to code. Trust me. Webflow says you don't have to. And so Webflow has a free version where you can sit there and design a website. YouTube has 1,000 YouTubes on how to set up a Webflow, how to do this in Webflow. Webflow itself has hundreds of videos on how to do it. You can, let me explain. If I was to do a 5-page website for a baker in Divi, I've been using Divi for 8 years. I know it inside and out. I know it in my sleep. It would probably take me 4 or 5 hours to build it up, do it really nice, have some, some animations and stuff. about 4 or 5 hours. In Webflow, it'd take about 45 minutes. That's substantial.
Does Webflow support e-commerce?
Yes. Yes. They have an e-commerce thing that you know like an attachment for it. Yes.
So this may be a little off topic, but we got you here. Say I get into Webflow and I got their plan, and I have a customer, my landscaping guy, that wants he needs a new website. I go and generate his website. How do I disassociate, or how do I get the plan management? Do I set him up with a Webflow account, or?
The way Webflow works is this is a little bit different too. But the way Webflow works is you probably then do get on a maintenance plan with him. So he's paying you $150, $350 a month to do it. It is not a plan that you turn over to him because now he's got the code.
Okay. So then
this is when they break it and they come back to you and go, my website doesn't work. You gotta fix it. And you I didn't break it, you broke it. In WordPress, I can say, you can change this copy, and I can lock them out of the design of the page. They can't screw up the page. They can only screw up the copy. And if they screw up the copy, they just have to hit back, and it'll go back and give them the copy that was there before they screwed it up. Webflow, as far as I know, doesn't have that yet. It's really made for
design and maintenance.
Right. The strongest thing I would tell anybody, if you don't know how to write well, that's number one. And number two, learn how to make websites. Now, the thing about the Divi WordPress versus buying a theme from like Theme Forest or somewhere like that is there are thousands of Divi developers. You can look up Divi developer in my area and you'll find people who say, I work in websites, I work in WordPress, and I use Divi. So if I was hit by a bus, my clients could simply find another Divi developer and there would be no problem. If I can remember back in the days when we built, because my agency, we built a lot of websites, and clients would call and say, you got to fix our website. And we'd open up their website and go, what the hell is this? It's just awful code. And, that doesn't happen with Divi. Other themes, you can't modify them. So if you buy the theme, you go, that looks really cool. I want to move this over here. Yeah, you ain't moving nothing. It's locked into a div. It's there. If you move that div, all the other divs break. Divi, you can just move it around. Like I want it up here. Now I'm going to bring it down here. Within the divs. With Webflow, they use layers. So you can literally, just like InDesign, drag that thing where you want it on the page, drop it. It makes a layer in CSS3. It makes a layer, and that's where it appears in your website. No more, you don't have to code. It's literally codeless web design, and it's really hot now. Really, really hot. And now you can find Webflow developers, the same thing. So let's say who's never built a website here? Who? Anybody?
I've dabbled with Squarespace. I used to use WordPress.
Okay. So let's say a client calls you and they've got they want to do an e-commerce site and they need 300 products photographed. Really great. You do your bid and you say, well, who's your website builder? Let me get the specs from them. They go, oh, we don't have one. You go, well, I can handle that for you. Now, in the old days, that would scare the shit out of you. You'd go, I can handle that for you. And you're thinking, oh God, I got to learn WordPress, right? Nope. You just go up to well, let me share it with you really quick here. Okay. So you're seeing my Gmail here. Let's get over to right here. Let's get we go to Reloom. Let's say it's a bakery. It's a bakery. Well, what does that bakery need? It really needs a nice one-page website, right? So we go here to this here. It's going to go bakery. Let's see, small bakery, specialized. And cupcakes and macarons. I'm going to copy this in case I already have one in the queue because this is the free version. Here, generate. All right. All right. Generate. So this is an AI thing that
Is it building a site map?
What's that?
Building out a site map?
It's building out a site map here.
Okay.
Now, when you're doing a website for a bakery, this is what takes the longest. Doing a site map takes me longer than doing a website. Well, it used to anyway. So I look over here and I go, okay, so we've got a hero header, a feature section, makes sense. Features list, that makes sense. Testimonials, of course. Call to action, yes. Fact, team, here's all our bakers and everything. That's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to say that's pretty cool. I wonder what it would look like. Well, let's wireframe it, shall we? So you take this and you go with your client, you go through it and you go, this is what we need here. And she goes, oh, I'd like to have a gallery to show all my stuff. Okay, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to, let's see, feature, hero, header. Do they have a gallery, I wonder?
You'd think they have to. There it is. In the middle, top third.
There we go.
Under logo.
I'm going to add a gallery. But of course, we need to put the gallery up here above the testimonial. Well, we're going to put it above the feature list. Drag and drop, baby. Now you take this and you send this to your client. So how's this for a thing? Now, you don't want to send it like 20 minutes after you talk to them because they might think you're not taking enough time to spend $3,000 on a website with you. So the next day you send this over and they go, that's pretty good. So this is pretty basic here, right? Then you do the wireframe and the wireframe comes up and there's our, let's get rid of these so we don't have these pesky things here.
And you can export that wireframe as a document to them? And
Yes.
say,
Yeah, you could do so SVG, JPEG, whatever.
yeah.
And you kind of go, well, that looks pretty good. I'm going to click on this, but I'd rather have the picture on the left. Okay, well, just do that, right?
Yep.
Where is it that I do it? Boom. Somewhere over here, I've got a thing and I can't see it now.
You might be able to just drag and drop within that little picture.
I don't think so.
I meant on the right. The preview thing. Maybe.
No, it's
Nope.
just a call to action. Oh, well, somehow,
There's a way to do it, I'm sure.
There's definitely a way to do it. And I was doing it before, which is really interesting. I just don't know why it's done it now. So anyway, so I've got this. This is pretty nice. You can show your client, hey, this is, and they go, oh, that's nice. A big picture back here. You haven't got the pictures yet. You're shooting the photographs right here, right? All you have to do is push the button up here, export, and you export it straight into Webflow.
And that's the free account with Reloom. You can do that.
This is Reloom. Yeah. Now you can't export anything if you don't pay for it. So you have to, it's like, I don't know, it's cheap. It's $15 a month or whatever.
Okay.
But it goes right over to Webflow. At Webflow, oh, and what does this look like here, by the way? I can bring it up a little bit higher, 100% here. So look at this, it wrote copy. As a matter of fact, it didn't write very bad copy. It wrote pretty damn good copy.
Yeah.
It's in the ballpark for
Yeah.
the conversation.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
could give this to a client. The client say, "Oh, we don't do delivery." Okay, well, just take it out, right? But you've done this.
An FAQ page, it's
Uh-huh.
critical.
Let's say you're not ready for Webflow yet. Terrific. You take this, you go to Fiverr, you find a Webflow designer on Fiverr, and for about $100, they'll flow it into Webflow, and they'll give you 5 revisions for color, whatever, 5 revisions for $150. This is a $3,000 website.
And then you turn around and use that Webflow and host it anywhere
Yeah.
where it's not Webflow centric.
Oh, here it is. When I blew it up, here it is. So where's that one that I wanted to move? It's up here. Okay, right here, right? I go to, oh, weird. Oh, so form or button, normal or card. So normal, go with normal. That other one here, this other one here had the ability to, so that one does not have the ability to do that, but the other one down here did. That was interesting. So was it this one? Oh, so I can go two rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, type 1, type 2, all these things. And Reloom is the company that builds these sections, and they literally have 10,000 of these sections that you can drag and drop into this, export to Webflow, send the thing off to Fiverr, and 3 days later, you got a perfectly functioning Webflow document that will go back into your Webflow where you can tweak it. You can change the copy, you can change the headlines, you can change anything for your client. Now, that's what big agencies do. Big ad agencies hire people to come in and build the websites that they give to Pepsi and Coke and stuff. Consultants. Why can't you do it for Emma's Bakery? I don't understand why photographers shy away from it.
So you start in Reloom to kind of put this together. You move it over to Webflow to make it actual, and then host it.
Yeah, you get it over to Webflow and you can say, okay, here's our color palette. So Emma's Bakery gives you their color palette, 5 colors, a color scheme. Maybe, or you develop one over at color.adobe. Color scheme. You can drop that color scheme in there and then say apply the color scheme, and it'll apply the color scheme, and you can just keep pushing the button until you like the way the color scheme works. Or you can just simply drag the colors over and say, okay, my borders are going to be blue, this is going to be this, my buttons are going to be purple, and it'll apply that CSS to the entire thing. No code. You don't write any code. There's no place on here to write any code. It is literally visual. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty damn cool.
It's pretty impressive. So would you think that, so I have obviously a site that, functions today from Squarespace, but you would think it might be worthwhile to consider moving?
I don't know that Webflow makes that great of a commercial photographer website.
Mm-hmm.
It's more business oriented.
Okay.
But I will find out, because I will be purchasing the full Reloom and the full Webflow in December, because by January I want to be a Webflow designer rather than, I can already do Divi. So I'm good with it, and I have 40 websites that I do in Divi, so I'm good with that. But I'm going to learn Webflow over December. I am going to learn it. I'm going to be a Webflow using dude.
Yeah, because as you remember, I'm probably that, I like mine okay, but the limitations of Squarespace mean that it can't quite be as stylish as I would like it to be.
You can make it as stylish as you want. I think what I would do is I will find out for you whether they have a mosaic gallery tool that makes the mosaics, because you want to stay with a mosaic gallery.
I do.
Generally, yeah. If they do have one, then I will let you know, and We can
Yeah.
play
I have been, looking at various photographers, sites that I particularly like, and I'm sort of collecting samples, and I'll share them with you at some point here as I try and collate them. Because there's every once in a while you come across somebody who goes, wow, that looks great. And so
have you seen the websites where you put your mouse here and the thing will move to the side, or you can click on a box and move it over here? Have you seen that kind of animation?
Yeah. You mean like a pop-up that you get to move around?
Yeah, you can move it around. There's a website
As a user, you mean as somebody who's visiting the page?
Yeah, you could like take there's 15 images on here, and you could go and drag them up and make your own portfolio out of the 15 images, right?
I have not seen that.
It's amazing what the animation is. Webflow has all of that.
Okay.
Drag and drop. You here's a beginning point, here's an end point, or you say beginning point is here, there is no end point, then drag it anywhere, even off the screen if you want. It's already built into Webflow with no code. Astounding. Literally
no code is good.
Yeah. So, all right, a couple of other things. It's a number game part 1. It's a number game part 2. If you haven't read them, and I don't think you have because they just went up today. If you haven't read them, read them.
Yeah, they're good reads.
We'll talk about them tomorrow. Really give us something to think about. All right.
Cool.
Sorry about the non-record. If you don't see that red button, yell at me. Okay.
Just one thing on the the number 2 of the things you just mentioned. There, it's the numbers game. Yeah, part 2 is not downloading, as far as I can tell. Let me just go back.
That's interesting. I'll find it. Get it linked up.
Yeah, that's just yeah. Let me just try again and make sure that
it's not. I just tried it.
Yeah, just wanted to let you know. Yeah, okay. Cheers.
Right. Yeah. I'll get that loaded up for you. But this is an awful lot about sales, and an awful lot of what we do is about sales. So tomorrow's types of clients, we're going to talk about the difference between ad agencies and marcoms and brands and how you deal with them. And we're going to talk about these 2 articles. So make sure you've read them before tomorrow, and we'll get to them. That'll be module 3. Module 4 is Monday because we take Sunday off. And we're going to talk about how to use Google to actually find the people we want to work with around our place, and then how to use LinkedIn. Do you all have a LinkedIn account?
Yeah.
Okay, good. How to use LinkedIn to actually narrow down and find some names out. Module 5 is bidding contracts, staying in touch. We'll talk about the types of leave behinds, type of marketing materials that you use, and all of that. And then for those of you who got the extra classes, you can see that they'll be next Saturday and the Monday after that. So it gives you some time to spend some time with this material, and then we'll have those meetings. Any last questions?
Just one. When you were doing the SEO stuff and you put dashes between words, are other separators equally worthwhile, like a period? Or
no, you can't use periods because that's a server function. Period means .jpg or whatever. All you can use is dashes or underscore.
Okay.
Now that's only for your file name, Don. If you're doing your meta description, it's just real text, real language.
Yeah, but I've been
only file
naming I've been doing my file names with periods, so I will change that practice.
Yeah. All right. I'm hoping you're enjoying the class. And
yeah, it's good.
Sorry for the snafu. I'll fix that, and it'll be up this evening, and we'll make sure all those links work. And that's what I'm doing. I'm separating, by the way. So, module 1 and its video will be separated, and tonight I'll move module 2 into its separate one, the whole bit, until we finally have everything separated out. We're going to talk about contracts a little bit tomorrow as well, because we're talking about clients and how to work with them, and that has a lot to do with contracts. So If you have any contractual questions, bring them tomorrow. We'll chat about them. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
See you, folks.